Okay, so this is the wire that I'm using for switch remote. It's black with a yellow stripe on it. So this little wire right here, that's connected to the car's computers. So whenever you unlock the car, you open your doors, you put the ignition on, or the car is on, this this wire is gonna get a very small amount of power. I think 4 to 5 volts. I can remember. And when this thing goes on, it basically closes the bridge on my relay. I'll explain you how the relay works, but close the bridge, and then it is my power coming out of the battery. This little wire with its own fuse. So it goes to here, the bridge gets closed, and then the power continues back to my amplifiers. All right, so when the switch gets a little bit of power, it basically sends power to my vacuum pump for my mufflers, and behind this cover I have my amplifier for my subwoofer. And okay, so these two, and oh yeah, and my cooling fans, I have like 4 of those, and they're all coming out of the same circuit. This is just a dedicated circuit with a 10, I think it's a 10 amp fuse, and they all get turned on when this little wire gets a little bit of power. Like I said, this one right here is connected to the car, so you need a multimeter to be able to find which is the wire that will come on when you do something with the car. But I will try to explain you how relays work. And for ground, you have this right here, but for my relay, I got the ground right here, just because it's closer to my relay. But any part of the car probably has ground. So I'm gonna try to explain you how relays, how they work, how you can get it for your remote. All right, so here I have these connectors that I cut out. I had these guys for maybe 4 6 years. Can't remember exactly, but it's been a while. And today I had an issue with this. There was like a loose connection. Sometimes my amplifier will go off just randomly. It's because of this. I'm gonna try something different now. So I decided I'm gonna use these connectors instead. Just because when you put them together, they feel very tight, so safer. And besides, if I ever need to disconnect my power, this should be pretty easy. All right, let's test it. Good. See, as soon as I click the remote, that little wire got the small amount of power that we need for the relay. Now my amplifiers, my cooling fans are getting the power they need. So the issue that I have with the little wire that I showed you that I cut is that I wouldn't be able to open my valves or my mufflers. My subwoofer would go off, and that was because I was not getting my relay to work because of the connector. But now check it out. Yep, this is what I wanted. All right. Okay, so here I want to clarify something. The little wire that I show you, the one that I'm using for remote, that's all it is, just a remote, a switch. Don't think that that wire is feeding my amplifier's power. For that I have a different setup. It goes to here, and then it's coming out of here. Let me show. Okay, so here, this blue wire is connected to the positive terminals here, and then a fuse, and it goes to the capacitor, and then over here, this is where I tap it into the original car, to the amplifier. These two wires, the big ones, is red and white, and brown and yellow. These two are the subwoofers cables. And then the blue wire here, which is my remote, coming down here all the way here to my relay. And that's basically what I have here. Check it out. And this is when I have a different setup for subwoofer. That's why you don't see my speaker. But here's my amplifier and the epicenter. And my wires over there. And that's when I have my subwoofers facing inside of the cabin. But yeah. So here on the X5, I did the same. There's a relay hiding somewhere back here. Let me see if we can see it. I was able to trace a wire and found one that is doing the same thing on the M5. So when you do anything with the truck, that little wire gets power and then clicks my relay, sending the signal to my amplifiers. But let me see if we can see it. I thought I left it here visible, but it's pretty well hidden. But you get the idea. It's pretty much the same. So the same setup that I have on the M5 is exactly the same that I did on the X5. The same, nothing different. You need a multimeter. You need to be able to trace a wire that will come on when you do something with the car, and that will stay off when the car is not being used. So that was the easiest way to go, at least for me. I don't even know if there's any power at the front on the dash that you could probably use as a remote, but I couldn't find anything. So to me, throwing in a relay was a lot easier. So I don't have to run any wires from the dashboard all the way to the back. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain you how a relay works, just in case you don't know. You're wondering how. So basically, to have a light on, you need positive and negative 12 volts, right? All right. So in order for a relay to open and close, they have like a little bridge. They have a bridge inside that is magnetic, that open and close. And when that happens, when opens and close, it basically connect or disconnect these two right here. It's always these numbers. Let me see, it's 30, can barely see, 33 and 87. Something went wrong. There you go, that's what I was looking for. Alright, so look. What I'm gonna do is tap this video right here. You can hear how it opens and closes. Wait, hold on. Right here. You hear that? Alright, so let me show you what I have here. So I have power coming out of your battery, and just pretend this is the wire that you want to use as a remote. You get the power out of there, you throw a fuse, just a protection, and then it's gonna stop here on the relay. And then you have another wire that will continue the power to your amplifier. Of course, you need a ground, and I'm gonna use this blue wire as a negative, coming out negative for the battery. Now we're also gonna need negative for the relay, which is right here. Up to this point, all I need is just a small amount of power to open and close the bridge on the relay. So I'm going to use the little wire. It's coming out of the battery too, it's positive, but like I said, it does not need to be a 12 volt. It could be something lower, anything. Here, look, opens and close, opens and close. So what it's doing is, as soon as it connects the bridge, it lets this power flow. And that's how I got my remote. Hopefully this helped you. All right, so there you go, there you have it. That's what I did on this vehicle. There's a bunch of wires coming into the battery, which is down here under these covers, and one of those wires, actually a few of those wires, you could use for relay and do the remote. And that way, when you do anything with the truck, like open the doors, unlock it, or if you were to put the ignition on, that wire gets power, and then for that it's gonna turn on your amplifiers, and everything is back here. Super easy, close to this equipment, and that thing goes on. So all right, so basically that's the main point. You want to find a wire that is going to stay on when you do something with the car, when you have the ignition on, and that is going to stay on while you're using the vehicle. But then you want to find something that is going to go off when nothing is being used on the car. The way I have it, this thing should go off in like 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, and it's gonna stay like that until I do something with the car, until I open the doors or I put the ignition on, and you know what I mean. So check it out. I added this charger, super cool. Like it, and it's coming out of the power that I'm using for the amplifier. Nice. And then I added this one here. This is another charger, but this is a battery charger, and this is only for my battery. I'm using this type of charger, and instead of opening this lid and removing the covers and connecting it straight to the battery, I added this. More convenience. That's because I don't use this car a lot, and I want to keep my battery healthy. Check it out. Yep. And it will tell me the level. So this is my battery charger. Shows that I have 75% of my battery. So, all right. Hopefully, everything that I show you helps you.